And we are back with The Scene. Anne Lang joins us for a look at the arts tonight. And first off, Anne, Canada's broadcast regulator has been getting a lot of complaints about Radio-Canada's bye-bye, haven't they?
Yes, Michelle, the CRTC has received close to 150 complaints about the Bye-Bye, which is, of course, Radio-Canada's annual New Year's Eve special. The show often presents daring comedy skits, but this year a lot of people feel the Bye-Bye went too far.
Alors aujourd'hui, on reçoit un personnage majeur dans le monde des Noirs.
This is just one of a few skits being criticized. The anchor interviews U.S. President-elect Barack Obama, but mistakes him for Gregory Charles, a well-known black entertainer. And then the anchor makes a comment that all black people look alike. He also uses a racist term. Now, the Black Coalition of Quebec says it's insulting and it promotes hate. And now the Centre for Research Action on Race Relations is trying to arrange a meeting with Radio-Canada management.
Okay, so what's Radio-Canada saying about all this?
Well, Michelle, no official apology. Sylvain Lafrance issued a statement. He's Executive Vice President of Radio-Canada French Services. He writes, "Were we overly lenient in the case of the latest Bye-Bye? The answer we've been receiving from the public is a resounding yes, and we've taken note." Meanwhile, the CRTC says after it reviews the complaints it received, the letters will be forwarded to Radio-Canada, and the network will have to send a response to each person who sent in a complaint.
Okay, well, listen, Anne, thanks a lot. Moving on to arts, onto something a little lighter, let's say.
Yeah.
Let's what we should be checking out maybe this weekend over the weekend.
Well, as you may have heard, the Oscar-winning actress Juliette Binoche is in town, but not just to act. She's co-starring in a dance performance at Centre Pierre Pellado, but that's not all. Binoche has brought along some of her artwork. These are portraits of filmmakers. She's also done self-portraits. And since she's been called one of the most beautiful people in the world, I asked her how she sees herself. She told me she doesn't.
It's not an idea. Oh, it's just that it's what's coming out of it through that period of time. And it's mostly very dark, I have to say.
You could check out Binoche's work at the Cinémathèque Québécoise. It will be on display until February 1st, and she'll be there on Tuesday at 6 p.m. to sign copies of a book based on her artwork.
Why you set the towel to keep me alive?
Because I'm a nurse.
And while you're there, you can check out some of her films. The Cinémathèque is presenting a retrospective of some of her best works, including her Oscar-winning performance in The English Patient. On the music scene, Quebec singer-songwriter Nanette Workman performs in Laval tomorrow night. Showtime is 8 p.m. at Théâtre Marcelin Champagnat. Tickets cost $30. On Tuesday and Wednesday, you can catch Kent Nagano and the Montreal Symphony Orchestra. They'll be performing Stravinsky's Rite of Spring. CBC's Kelly Rice will host a pre-concert lecture at 7 p.m. And on the big screen, my hair's blue! Anne Hathaway and Kate Hudson play Bridezillas in Bride Wars. They're best friends who find out their weddings have mistakenly been booked on the same day at the same venue.
You're right. Your wedding will be huge, just like your ass at prom. Your wedding can suck it.
Stay right there. Stay right there.
In Gran Torino, Clint Eastwood plays a disgruntled Korean war vet who sets out to reform his neighbor after the boy tries to steal his prized possession.
Let me tell you something, boy. You step on this property again, you're done.
And Michelle, Gran Torino is up for some Golden Globes, which you can watch this weekend. The award show is on Sunday. And one last thing to mention, if you haven't had a chance to see the Sympathy for the Devil exhibit at the Musée d'Art Contemporain, this is the last weekend to check it out. It examines the relationship between art and rock and roll.
All right, Anne Lang, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
One last check on the forecast. Frank.
If you want to get the kids out of the house this weekend, our arts reporter Anne Lang has some suggestions. Hi, Anne.
Hey, Nancy. Yes, and they're both indoors. For the first one, you may want to warm up your vocal cords. I couldn't hear her. This Sunday, it's the 29th annual CBC Christmas Singin'. Swing by and sing along with some of your favorite Christmas carols. Kelly Rice, the show's producer, says you don't need to worry if you're not on key.
All is calm. Good for you, you're doing it. All is bright. You're doing it. Brown yon virgin. And listen,
Yes?
you also got 1,500 other people to help you. So if you miss a note, If you miss a note, there's no problem.
Admission is free. Doors open at 2 p.m. on Sunday. The singing begins at 3. There's a free will offering with proceeds going to the Centre de Thérapie Filou, an organization that helps physically challenged children.
Grandma shirt, says Lacey.
Here's one way to get your kids interested in reading. They're listening to the stories of Robert Munsch, one of Canada's best-known children's authors.
When I was in kindergarten, she gave me a shirt that says, Bummy Wummy. Everybody laughed at me.
It's part of an exhibition at the McCord Museum. It's called Much More Munch.
It's about learning to read and loving to read. And so the exhibition is walking into Munch's house as if you're walking into a great storybook, and you're going to have a wonderful experience reading.
Bang, bang. Part of that experience includes getting a chance to push a lot of buttons and hear all sorts of cool sounds. Much More Munch is at the McCord Museum until April. And Nancy, the nominations for the Golden Globes came out today. Here is Yelena Adsik with some of the top categories.
When you think of Jean Béliveau, you probably think of hockey. This week, he is trying something different, acting. Our arts reporter, Anne Lang, has the details. Hey, Anne.
Hey, Michelle. Yes, Jean Béliveau is in a movie that's currently being shot. It's called Pour toujours les Canadiens. It's in honor of the team's 100th anniversary. Shooting ends in December, and this week I had a chance to catch up with him on the set. Pour toujours les Canadiens is a fictional story. It's about two young boys who share a passion for hockey. Jean Béliveau plays himself in the movie. He mentors one of the boys. One of the lead actors say he's impressed with Béliveau's performance.
Il est pas mauvais acteur aussi, on l'a vu jouer tout à l'heure. Hey, ça allait très bien.
Béliveau says it's not too hard since he only has 3 lines in the movie.
Tomorrow I'm going to say, Williams, do you want a lift?
Seems like he's already come up with an acting method. Béliveau says he doesn't like to practice his lines.
It's like when I meet the press. I don't want to know about the question. I think it's more natural. When a question is thrown at you, and very quickly try to find an honest answer.
Pour toujours les Canadiens comes out on December 4th, 2009, the team's 100th anniversary. And Michelle, I asked Jean Béliveau if there are any similarities that he's noticed between hockey and acting, and he said sometimes when players get pushed on the ice, maybe they exaggerate the fall a little bit just to increase the chance of their opponent getting a penalty. But Béliveau said he's never actually tried that kind of acting.
No, probably not. I guess he just focused on scoring goals. Yeah. All right, so what's coming up this weekend?
Well, this week's roundup has your bases covered. We've got music, film, theater, and dance. Les Ballets Jazz de Montréal presents an evening choreographed by Azure Barton. She's a New York choreographer who's worked with Mikhail Baryshnikov. Beginning tonight through Saturday, you can see 2 of her pieces, Les Chambres de Jacques and the Montreal premiere of Jack in the Box. If you're feeling romantic, you could head over to the Bell Centre tomorrow night. James Blunt will be there. Also at the Bell Centre on Monday, you can catch Canadian rocker Neil Young. He'll be joined by the groups Wilco and Everest. How about a trip to Australia? Baz Luhrmann's film of the same name is in theaters. It stars Nicole Kidman and Hugh Jackman. She's an English aristocrat, he's a rugged cowboy. Together they embark on a difficult cattle drive and eventually fall in love.
There's no surprises there.
I knew a lazy man once who lived on a...
Here's an option for the family. Geordie Productions presents The Little Prince.
Here.
The Little Prince tells the story of an aviator who crashes in the middle of a desert. He meets a young boy from another planet. Their friendship helps the aviator remember what's important in life. And that's exactly what Geordie's artistic director loves about the story.
I think through him, it's through a child's eyes.
The Little Prince opens tomorrow night. Now, Michelle, most of the shows for The Little Prince are sold out this weekend. There are some tickets left, though, for the Sunday matinee, but it will be playing the following weekend as well. And you can see all my picks at cbc.ca/Montreal at 6.
Anne Lang, reporting live. Thanks a lot.